This roster does not have a single spot protected by reputation, contract, or draft status anymore. Patriots Nation, listen closely. A rookie almost everyone overlooked is kicking down the door to the rotation. An explosive pass rusher could force the front office to choose between caution and ambition, and two critical partnerships are finally taking shape on the field. In Foxborough, this is not some relaxed training camp storyline. It is a fight over who gets to help carry the next winning Patriots team. Today we separate who is merely showing up from who can actually change this season. If you want unfiltered accountability, hit like, subscribe, and ride with me. We start with the man who arrived with almost no room for error. Jam Miller was the 245th pick, a seventh-round running back carrying the quiet expectations that follow anyone entering at the back of the line. Except he is not acting like a background player. After 1 week of training camp, the conversation about his roster chances already needs to be rewritten. And I love that. I love when a player forces everybody to tear up the comfortable prediction they made in the spring. Recent precedent makes his fast start even more meaningful. New England carried as many as 14 rookies last year, and those late-round picks did not stay hidden. Craig Woodson became a starting safety and one of the defense's best young pieces. Joshua Farmer earned real playing time before his injury. Andy Borregales and Julian Ashby handled important special teams jobs. Vrabel has shown that draft position will neither protect you nor bury you. Production creates a path. That history matters. Miller entered a building where the staff has already rewarded late-round rookies who earn trust and deliver useful Sundays. Miller was coming off a final Alabama season below his usual standard. His average dropped from 5.0 yards per carry over his first 3 years to 3.9 in 2025, while his touchdowns fell from 7 to 3. The stat line made regression an easy verdict. Context weakens that argument. No Alabama player with at least 20 carries averaged more than 3.9 yards per attempt that year. A healthy running game did not leave Miller behind. The entire unit fell off. That does not erase his performance, but it blocks a lazy verdict on his talent. Put the athletic profile back into the picture. He has a compact frame, 4.42 speed, and one clear path to immediate value: returning kicks. Late-round picks survive by solving multiple problems on Sundays. If Miller runs with burst, protects the football, and threatens defenses as a returner, the staff will not simply compare third-string backs. They will calculate how many jobs one roster spot can handle. His competition is Lan Larison and Terrell Jennings. Larison arrived as a highly regarded undrafted free agent last year, but a broken foot sent him to injured reserve before the season. Jennings handled late-game work, scored once, and also finished on injured reserve after a concussion. Antonio Gibson and D'Ernest Johnson are gone. Nobody owns this job. There is an opening, and Miller has started attacking it. Is it early? Of course. He still has a month of contact, pass protection, special teams, and preseason games ahead. But caution does not mean pretending nothing changed. The underdog has already made this staff look twice. Now he must turn one strong week into dependable repetition, because RB3 on a young roster should not reward a resume. It should belong to whoever creates the most value. And if pick 245 is applying this pressure, the heat moves upstairs. Internal youth helps, but an outside weakness may demand a much bigger swing. This is where the conversation stops being friendly. New England finished last season with 35 sacks. Only 6 teams produced fewer. Harold Landry is on PUP while recovering from a knee injury. Believe in the development of Elijah Ponder, Braden Swinson, and Jesus, but belief cannot become an excuse to wait. A team facing the AFC's best quarterbacks has to make the pocket uncomfortable. Without that, every speech about physical defense is incomplete. Kayvon Thibodeau is the name that could turn that pressure into a real decision. The 25-year-old edge defender, selected 5th overall in the 2022 draft, has 23.5 sacks through 4 seasons and has already shown double-digit upside with 11.5 in 2023. Last season, he finished with 2.5 sacks in 10 games. That drop deserves examination. It does not deserve to erase what he has already proven. His athleticism, starting experience, and age still bring real value to the table. The trade noise did not appear out of thin air. Giants general manager Joe Schoen acknowledged receiving calls about Thibodeau, even while saying he expects big things from him in 2026. New York turned down offers, and the best reportedly reached a 4th-round pick. With Brian Burns on a long-term contract and Abdul Carter on the roster, there is enough premium talent in that room to keep the possibility of a trade alive. Thibodeau is entering the 5th and final year of his rookie deal at roughly $14.75 million. New England would be paying a trade price now and facing a contract decision later. I would not give away premium capital while ignoring those 2.5 sacks from last season. I also would not treat a fourth-round pick like a sacred artifact when the possible return is a 25-year-old pass rusher with proven high-end upside. The fit would give Vrabel another threat alongside Landry and Draymond Jones, while Ponder, Swinson, and Jakas develop without the ridiculous burden of solving everything immediately. It would strengthen the rotation and let New England attack protections in different ways. My line would be firm: explore the conversation, protect the premium picks, and try to win on value before the market gets desperate. If the price enters a responsible range, the Patriots have an obligation to attack. Pass rush is not a luxury. It is the difference between promising pressure and actually ending plays. The rookie drafted to help with that mission is finally returning to the field, but he is not all the way back yet. Jesus will practice with the Patriots for the first time Saturday, and the decisive word is limited. Mike Vrabel said the rookie now moves to the coaches under the return-to-play protocol. He will not take team reps yet, but the hope is to involve him more by Monday. That is progress. It is not a shortcut. After missing the first week on the field, each step has to restore rhythm without turning impatience into recklessness. Jakas underwent a knee procedure during the offseason and opened camp on the non-football injury list. His contract was not completed until the team took the field for its first practice. $8.66 million, with $6.95 million guaranteed, and an unusual injury list million guaranteed, and an unusual injury waiver. There was delay, physical uncertainty, and valuable time lost. The story changes now. Number 50 leaves the sideline and works in front of the coach who once wore it. That detail carries pressure, not magic. Vrabel knows the responsibility of living on the edge, taking contact, and continuing to attack. Jakas does not need to copy his coach's career. He needs to show that all of this investment bought New England a defender ready to learn under the highest level of demand. I will not romanticize a shared jersey number. What excites me is the competitive profile that convinced New England to trade up and select him at number 55. In his final season at Illinois, Jakas delivered 11 sacks, 13.5 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles. That is production from someone who invades the backfield and finishes. It is exactly the controlled violence this defense needs to restore. But this is where the aggressive standard matters. Potential records no September sacks if a player is still rebuilding conditioning and learning the system. Jakas lost reps that Braden Swinson, Elijah Ponder, and the veterans banked. His limited return is the first win, not the finish line. He must regain practice speed, show the knee responds, and turn strength into technique against NFL tackles. Vrabel appears ready to guide that process step by step. Good. Rushing it to satisfy the fan base for 2 days would be incompetence. At the same time, his return does not erase the Thibodeau conversation. It makes that conversation more rational. If Jakas progresses quickly, a young veteran acquired through a trade could elevate the rotation without having to carry the future alone. If the recovery hits turbulence, the outside urgency grows. Those paths reinforce each other. They are not opposing ideas. A serious franchise does not choose between developing and competing. It develops players while building the conditions to compete. The war room is open, Patriots fans. Which of these 4 areas should the coaching staff prioritize most? Conditioning, technique, run defense, or quarterback pressure? Give me your case, because Jakas's role could reshape the entire defensive strategy. And while the rookie works his way back into the rhythm, a partnership on the other side of the ball is already making the practice field feel too small for the expectations surrounding it. But Patriots Nation, this is where things get really interesting. A.J. Brown and Drake May just gave us the strongest display of camp so far. 4 throws in Brown's direction, 4 completions, and 2 touchdowns in the end zone. One was a perfect ball dropped over his shoulder. Then Brown snapped off a sharp route and pulled in another pass with one hand. This is not a pretty drill with no consequences. We are watching the quarterback and his top weapon test the exact area where New England desperately needed to become more ruthless. May described the process simply. They are building a relationship and improving every day. Chemistry does not arrive with a new acquisition. It grows through break timing, ball placement against tight coverage, and the trust to release the pass before the receiver looks open. On Friday, that work produced evidence. Brown also picked the right opponent. He embraced his matchups with Christian Gonzalez, called the cornerback a stud, and admitted the margin for error becomes extremely small. That is what I want. No star hunting for comfortable reps just to create a highlight clip. They sharpen each other. The offense gains precision while the defense has to deal with elite strength, hands, and route running. The quickest impact could show up in the red zone. Brown has 56 career touchdowns and scored 7 for the Eagles last season. His powerful frame and control at the catch point give May an answer that does not require massive separation. Near the goal line, windows disappear fast. 2 touchdown connections in one practice do not guarantee weekly production, but they reveal the offensive design New England paid for when it acquired this star. I will defend this duo against any lazy analysis that dismisses everything as July excitement. The catches came against their own defense, but timing and execution have to begin somewhere. A costly partnership fading into the background or avoiding the team's best corner would be concerning. We saw the opposite. Perfect efficiency in that sample, aggression in the end zone, and direct competition against Gonzalez. Now comes the ruthless part. The Patriots did not acquire Brown to win practice. They acquired him because May deserves a weapon who changes coverages and because this franchise wants to return to the Super Bowl. If that chemistry reaches week 1, the AFC will have to defend New England differently. When the help shifts toward Brown, somebody else will find space. 4 passes in July could be the first serious warning from a much more dangerous offense. The message from this camp is hard and healthy. Earn your place, or watch somebody else take it. Miller is challenging the hierarchy. Thibodeau represents the courage this front office may choose to show. Jacques is beginning a return that demands fierce patience, and Brown with May are raising the ceiling of the entire offense. I do not want applause for promises. I want these advantages to survive on game day. Subscribe to Patriots Club Fans and hold every step accountable with us. Patriots Nation, tell me what you think. Which of these 4 stories should be New England's #1 priority before week 1?